the closest state to me. I went to Vermont, and that's where I decided I'm going to lay low here as well. And you know, I didn't join, when I moved to Oklahoma, I was still doing magic, but I didn't join a coven, I didn't do abortions, I didn't break up churches. And when I was in Vermont, I did the same thing. I didn't join a coven, but I still did my magic. I was addicted to magic. I love magic more than anything. And being in this, I met my wife we got married in October of '07. And I left out one little detail about my life. I didn't tell her that I had been a Satanist for over 26 years. A little minor thing. Remember, the devil is 99% truth and 1% lie. So we got married, and I was a manager of a jewelry store in America. And I went to work one day, and this woman came up, and she said she wanted to buy a pair of gold hoop earrings. And then I was just about ready to close the deal, and she said, well, actually, I'm shopping with my daughter, and I've got to go finish that, and when I'm done, I'm going to come back and buy them. And I know when women say that, that means I'm going to go find them cheaper someplace else. But she had an honest face. She had a face that said, I'm really going to go do that. So I was like, all right. So I put them aside. 3 hours later, this woman comes back. We do the transaction, and I said, if you call the number on this receipt, we're having a promotion right now, and you could possibly win $1,000. She's like, oh, that's great. I've got something for you, too. This is words I don't want to hear, because I know a pamphlet's going to come out, and somebody's going to say you need to drop to your knees and beg for forgiveness and ask Jesus into your heart, and blah, 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 blah. I don't have that option. You cannot, as a Satanist, go tell a Christian, sorry, I sold my soul to the devil, and don't have the option to do that. You know, they get offended, and then they start trying to witness to you even harder. If somebody would have come up to me to witness to me, I'd have just cussed them out and walked away. If you gave me a pamphlet, I might have read it out of entertainment, and then I would just throw it away. So this woman instead pulls out a little gold disc. And I'm looking at that, and I'm thinking, that's different. I mean, I'm expecting a pamphlet, and this little gold disc comes out. I don't know what this is. And she says the most bizarre thing. Now, you've heard my testimony. 26 years a Satanist, 146 abortions, 120 churches, all the evil I can stand. If you're going to say something that I think is weird, you're out there. She said, the Blessed Mother is calling you into her army. I've got no reference. 2 people like that. All right. I have no reference point for the Blessed Mother. I have no idea who that is. I grew up Baptist. Mary gave birth to Jesus. So I'm thinking, Isis? Gaia? I don't know. And she says it's very powerful. Well, now I know she's not a Christian, because Christians don't bless anything. So she's got to represent a cult. Probably like some female deity cult. Not really interested. You know, I thought, you know, I came from 2 big cults. Not interested in yours. You know, as well, if I joined that cult, it could be connected to my first one. This could go poorly for me. And she starts talking about more stuff. I've got no idea what she's saying. I've just totally tuned her out. Whatever it is she's saying, I still don't know. You know, she just went on and on and on. And then I tuned back in. And she tells me again, it's very powerful. Well, now I'm insulted. Now I feel like you're challenging me. How dare you tell me it's powerful? You know, and I'm thinking, I was the high wizard for 12 years. I was the top magic practitioner. Yeah, I might have shared that position with 9 other men, but I did it at a time when the world had close to 7 billion people. 7 billion people, and I am one of the top 10 magic practitioners in the world. Who are you to tell me that little blessed, miraculous metal has any power whatsoever? This cannot do anything to me. I am more powerful. If God was stronger than me, God would have stopped me when I was killing babies, but he didn't. And this is my attitude. I am better than you. I'm better than everyone in the room. I have more power than anybody. There's nothing you can do to me. Give me that medal. I will show you. The Holy Spirit used my ego and my arrogance against me. I put my hand out, she dropped it in my hand. My plans were to close my fist around it, feel that it has no power, and then I'm gonna toss it on the floor or slam it on the counter. Up until now, I had remembered that I had sold this woman gold. That made my sales day. I was very excited, but now I don't care if she returns it. I don't care if she gets her money back. You don't tell me that something is powerful or that it can do something. I will tell you. I clenched my fist around it, and my mall and my store were gone. I was standing in a darkened void. There was nothing there but me and this woman. And she's telling me about all the sinning I've committed. And after she says whatever she says, she ends it with, and that's of the devil. And you did over 100 abortions, and that's of the devil. And you've been a Satanist for over 25 years, and that's of the devil. And you broke up over 100 churches, and that's of the devil. And everything she says ends with, and that's of the devil. And she says again, and I'm terrified at this point, I equated what she was able to do with magic. As the high wizard, I could not have done this. That somebody can do this, I'm in awe. And I think I'd like to let go of the metal, but am I gonna fall through this void? How do I find my way back to my mall? I have no idea. And she tells me again, the Blessed Mother is calling you into her army. And I instantly knew that was the Mother of God, which is one more person like that one. What a cheap way to get applause. So as a Baptist, we would have never said Mother of God. So it had to have been the Holy Spirit telling me, but I knew it was the Mother of God. And as soon as I knew it, Mary appeared. She smiled, and she took me by the hand, and she gently turned me around. And Jesus was standing behind me. And I knew that Jesus was my Lord and Savior. I knew that I had not sold my soul. Jesus was there, and I knew that everything that was Zach, all my magic, all my occult, all my evil, everything that I was doing that was for the devil stopped. And from now on, everything I did was going to be for Jesus. And the Blessed Mother told me that my job was to help her end abortion. And I opened my hand, and I was standing back in my store, back in my mall. This woman, Marianne Wickman, is still talking to me. She's still telling me about her church and how awesome everything is. And she told me where she goes to church, and she tells me that she's Father Joe Whalen's assistant, and that's the St. Raphael Healing Oil Ministry in the States. And that Father Joe is the busiest priest she's ever known. She's the assistant, and he doesn't have time to talk to her. And while she's talking to me, her cell phone rings, and she looks down, she goes, "That's Father Joe, I've got to take it." Well, I realize, busiest priest you've ever known, blah, 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 go ahead, take the call. So she takes the call. Father Joe is in his 80s. He's losing his hearing, so he talks like everybody's losing their hearing. So whatever he says on the phone, I can hear it. And she's like, "Father Joe, what can I help you with?" "Can you hand the phone to the young man you're talking to?" And I'm like, now I'm shaking like a leaf. How does this man know that I'm right there? How does he know this is happening? And she hands me the phone. And I was like, "Hello? Welcome to the faith. Hand the phone back to Marianne." So I do that. I got 2 more calls. She sent her daughter out to the truck to get me one of each of everything. You're Catholic, one of each of everything can be a lot of stuff. I got this huge Catholic care package, and then I went home, and my wife, who had been involved in a bunch of New Age stuff and loved trying to contact her spirit guides and playing with a Ouija board and doing automatic writing, and thought that my magic was just the coolest thing in the world. I opened the door and I said, "Honey, guess what? I'm Catholic now." That response you just gave me, she didn't give me that. She wasn't too happy with that. I started going to Mass almost immediately. I started going to daily Mass like either the next day or the day after. The first time the priest consecrated the host, I saw Jesus. I thought that was the most amazing thing. I thought if you were Catholic, you saw Jesus. I asked Katie, I was like, do you see that? She goes, what? I said, that man up there. She goes, that's the priest. I was like, no, the other man. She's like, no, I don't see anything. And I thought, no, she doesn't see Jesus because she's not Catholic. So, you know, I got, Monsignor LaValle came over and blessed my house. He found out that I saw Jesus in the Eucharist, decided to make me Catholic because if I'm a former Satanist and I'm seeing Jesus in the Eucharist, I'm obviously Catholic. I obviously have Catholic written all over me. I found out that there was a place called Perpetual Adoration, which was awesome, so I could go see Jesus anytime I wanted. My very first experience with that is that I equated it to going to see a rock star because I thought, it's Jesus, it's God. There should be a line to get in there. I mean, like in America, there's a line to get in to see Elvis, and he's dead. So I go in, when we get there, it's me and my wife, we get there, we're the second car in the parking lot. That was kind of a shock. We go in there, there's no line. It's like, okay. We walk into the Adoration Chapel, and it's me and my wife, Jesus, and this woman. And this woman looks up, she sees me, she looks very surprised, and she starts packing up her stuff as fast as she can go. Like, if this was an Olympic event, she got gold. She put everything together, she then picked it up, she looked at me, and she said, you can't leave till someone else shows up. And she runs out the door. Well, why would I leave? I'm in a room with Jesus. So I started hanging out at Adoration between 1 and 18 hours a day. It was awesome. One person likes that. So we officially entered the Catholic Church in May of 2008. I assisted with another ministry for probably a year and a half, and then the Blessed Mother told me that I needed to get out there and do our own thing. I was looking for what would be an awesome name for a ministry because I really loved the Blessed Mother. I mean, she rescued me from the pit of hell. But then I found out about Blessed Bartolo Longo, who used to be a satanic priest and then became a Catholic priest. And then I really love Padre Pio. I mean, admit it, you just like saying the name Padre Pio, it sounds cool. And I really like Saint Benedict, you know, and eventually I was like, oh man, I like 10 saints. I can't name the ministry. And then I listed like 10 saint names. I was like, that doesn't sound good. It doesn't roll off the tongue. So then I went with, I thought, you know, we're in a society now where we talk about inclusion. We want to include everybody. No one should be left out. So I thought, okay, I'll embrace that too. All Saints Ministry. It's the name of our ministry. So if you're thinking you'd like to know more, allsaintsministry.org. That's my story and I'm sticking to it. Thank you.